Well, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of 0 to 60, and this episode we're going to be checking out my Mfactory axles. They actually got delivered yesterday, one day after the Euro Day, the thing I wanted them for. But we have now got them, and I want to go and unbox them, see what they look like, see if they are, we'll see if they appear to be an upgrade, see what the quality's like, and I guess what they include in the packaging, because it's been a bit of a weird buying process, buying from Mfactory. It's obviously they are a Taiwanese company, but they've got good distributors in Australia and in America, but the website's just a bit of a crappy website. And anyway, we'll get into that when we get up there. But Euro Day was awesome. The 335 did me proud. Yeah, when you actually get it in a scenario like that, and those races, there's no proper starts, there's no real credibility to it. It's like dodgy street racing, but it was fun. We chopped pretty much everything. It was good, apart from more M54s. One thing that did really concern me about that, that is the hottest day I've ever driven this car. Or driven it in anger, I should say, and she got hot. Yeah, I did not like seeing the intake temps at the high 40Cs to 50s. And oil, although the oil didn't really go over 120, I think the highest I saw the oil temp was 122. We got coolant temp up to 115, so she was working. Not great conditions for a car that's running potentially nearly twice the power it come from the factory with. Yeah, it was a bit nerve-wracking, and it has got me thinking, and I do want to ask you guys, oil. So a few of you mentioned that I am running the wrong oil. I'm running HPR5. It's a 540 oil, and it's what Penrite recommend for the M54s. I quite like Penrite, and I got to admit, a lot of that just comes with, it's normally cheap, and it is a full synthetic oil, but it's an Aussie company. You can actually speak to them if you've got any questions, and when I have questioned them in the past, they've been quite helpful with their oil. I'm running the Penrite transmission fluid in this, and you've got to say that it's doing very, very good considering the power and the load that's going through that auto. I was expecting to have more problems with the transmission. But should I go to a thicker oil? I know people do run the TWS, the 1060, that they run in the M cars and the M54s. I was thinking about switching it up to a 1050, so sort of in the middle. Yeah, let me know what you think. If you've got an M54 and you're running thicker oil than factory, let me know in the comments below if you had any issues, if you think it's better, if it's worse. I want to get some feedback. I don't know enough about oil. I don't know what the thicker oil is going to do on cold startup, if it's mean there's not going to be enough oil getting to the bearings. And I guess that's the big thing. The thicker oil is going to affect the clearances on the bearings. Will it cause a problem? Let me know your thoughts below and your experience. That'd be great. All right, for now, let's head up into the shed and check out those axles. All right, so these actually got delivered yesterday, and I was going to do the video yesterday, but as it was Monday, the day after the track event, I spent way too long trying to find photos of my cars on amateur photographers' Facebook pages. You know what it's like. So anyway, I didn't get around to filming it. Just one thing to note, so I ordered these 2 or 3 days after we did that. I snapped my axle video. Maybe it was the next day. It wasn't long after anyway, which is nearly a month ago, and they only got dispatched on the 24th of November. So, well, that's when the invoice was done. When did they get dispatched? 25th of November they got dispatched. So it was a few weeks where they did nothing, and they have been sent straight from Taiwan. They put the value down at $425 US. I guess it's just so people can see customs. I didn't get charged any import duty on this, luckily. But let's see what they look like. Now, I think I have mentioned it on camera, but I went for the Mfactory because they're supposed to be an upgraded axle, and it's the cheapest way to go about it. The drive shaft shop axles, which are actually rated for 1,000 horsepower, where Mfactory don't really rate these, would probably be the smarter option, but the cost of sending or even organising drive shaft shop axles, because you have to send them cores, was just going to be a bit difficult for me here in Australia, where they've ended up at about 1,600 Aussie delivered to the door, and they're supposed to be an upgrade. Now, quite a few people did say they're running Mfactory axles with no issues. And I've seen some good and some bad reviews. Apparently these were upgraded, or there's like a second generation of them a year or two ago, so hopefully these are the better of the lot. But let's get them out, see what they bloody look like. So we do have a left and a right. And obviously they are different lengths. Interesting. They're not very heavy. They're not very heavy at all. Okay, so I have got my one that I snapped, which is the left, so we'll just compare those two. Alright, completely different joint design there. Pretty tempted to take the boots off. Alright, let's show you guys what we're looking at. So this is the original one from my car that I snapped, and it broke down in the joint section right there. Now the joint didn't actually break, it was the axle, and the axle does go down to quite a skinny section where this is, I think these are 38mm thick, where the bit that broke, let's get a measurement, we'll do it properly. Let's just check how thick that is there. Rough measurement, but yeah, so it drops down to under 28mm. I'd say that's 27mm if you measured it properly. This axle, these are supposed to be solid, where this is hollow. And they actually measure 30mm in diameter. So hopefully it carries that 30mm all the way down into the joint, which I reckon it will, instead of going down. So they should be a few mil thicker, and obviously they're supposed to be a different metal construction to what these ones are. The main joint up here also looks different to look into. Yeah, you can sort of, it's really hard to get in there, but that's the inside of them. So it's sort of the boot is internal. There is a boot on it, but it's internal, not external like this one. All that sort of stuff. Obviously the splines are going to be the same. I'd like to take the boot off just to have a look inside the actual joint, but it's not worth the effort, I don't think. It does have this little red pipe sticking out there, which must be a breather, because they will compress in and out. As when you fit them, yeah. So that little red pipe is just a breather. Ooh. Winding up. There we go, I've managed to get it dirty already. Weight-wise, let's grab some scales and see how much these Mfactory ones weigh. Alright, so we've got a scales. Let's check the weight difference between the Mfactory and the original. I'll put the Mfactory on first. This is going to be a very accurate measurement. Lol. So that weighs 5.8 kilos. And let's see what the original one weighs. Damn, 5.9. So the upgraded axle is actually lighter. I wonder how much of an upgrade it's going to be. So guys, that is the initial look at the Mfactory axles, and I'm not blown away, but I was sort of expecting this from things I'd read online about them. So the actual axle diameter, the shaft size, is smaller than the originals. Now, the originals are hollow. I'm led to believe that these are solid. They certainly sound solid compared to the originals, and we're only talking a couple of mil difference. Keep in mind that although what you can see on the factory ones, this diameter here, which is 38mm, they shrink that right down to 27mm inside the boot. So obviously you got to think of it almost like a chain, and the chain is only as strong as its weakest link, and the fact that it drops down to 27mm down inside the boot is why they snap there. So all this big beefiness that you can see from the outside is completely irrelevant when it goes down to a skinny part. I can only assume that the Mfactory ones maintain this 30mm diameter all the way into the joint, and hopefully the joints are a stronger design or a better design than what's in the original ones. This joint, the one that goes up near the diff, is definitely a completely different setup to the factory one. As I said earlier, I think I got it on camera, the boot is an internal boot, so if you guys have got any thoughts on whether this design of joint is better than the factory, let me know. I'm curious to know. I don't know a lot about axles, there's no denying that. Something that I did think is a bit cheap on Mfactory's behalf, well, they are cheap axles, I guess. They didn't supply any hardware to fit them, so we're going to need new nuts and new bolts. I can obviously reuse the ones from the original axles, but I'm pretty confident that they say you're supposed to use new hardware when you fit these or you avoid the warranty, if they have a warranty. Again, I couldn't really get much information. Now, I did ask Mfactory when I inquired about these if these are going to cope with my power levels, and they never got back to me. I've not been ecstatic with the service from Mfactory. It is a bit difficult being in Australia, and I was contacting the Aussie distributor, who then needed to contact the technicians to see if it was going to suit my car. Everything was taking too long. I just ordered them through the website because I was in a bit of a rush. At the time, I didn't know if I was going to be able to use my spare axle. So it was a bit of a difficult situation, but yeah, it was over a week and I didn't get a response from the Aussie distributor about whether these would suit my hybrid turbo setup or whether they would cope with that level of power, which is a little bit disappointing, and I'm also disappointed with how long they took to ship. But at the end of the day, the proof is going to be in the pudding and whether they snap. So I'm at a bit of a crossroads. Now, I would like to fit these straight away and just have a stronger axle straight away. These have to be stronger than the original ones, less chance of snapping them. Freight has just been a bit of a nightmare. Anyway, long story short, Shane from Hillside Performance actually saw that video and he said, Andrew, don't worry about sorting out with BMS. He's going to make me a diff brace. Shane mainly focuses on E30 stuff, and he was in the video where we went down to Brisbane and met up with Matt from Gresham Performance, where I got my diff from. But Shane is looking to expand into later model stuff, and I think diff brace is going to be perfect. So I'll put a link to Hillside Motorsport. Go and check it out and tell him to hurry up and make his E92 diff braces so that we can all get them. The stuff he does for E30s, all locally made, over-engineered and really cheap. So hopefully he keeps that going with the newer generation stuff. That'd be nice for everyone. So I'm just editing this video and I realised I started to talk about this and then I forgot to mention it. What I wanted to ask you guys, Shane from Hillside said he's going to make me a diff brace. He said I'll have it by roll racing, which is in 2 weeks. But if you guys can go and encourage him in the link below and tell him to hurry up, I don't mind pressuring Shane. He's a good mate of mine, so go and annoy him. I think it'll encourage him to get it done quicker. But he's going to make me a diff brace. Should I fit these Mfactory axles this week? I could do it tomorrow, and we'll have some what should be safer axles in the car. Or should I fit the diff brace that Shane makes and then go and do some more testing on the stock axles? So I could essentially fit the diff brace and go and do another launch in exactly the same place, exactly the same launch where we snapped an axle last time, and see if it doesn't snap anymore. Basically, just do a bit more testing, and hopefully it'll give you guys a bit of an idea on whether a diff brace does actually make a difference, or if you're going to snap axles anyway and just bite the bullet and upgrade. Because it is a bit weird. I haven't found many automatic hybrid turbo cars that snap axles. So I don't know if mine's just putting out wicked torque down. I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one. I'd like to go and do some more testing really on the stock axles, but let me know what you guys think. Whack the Mfactory ones in straight away, or fit the diff brace and see if we can do any more damage to the standard axles. Let me know. All right. Oh, and go and annoy Shane. He needs to be annoyed. All right. Thank you. Back to the video. But that's it. First look at the Mfactory axles. They look like axles. Definitely got different joints design up here. Yeah, there's nothing too special about them, to be honest. We've got zinc-coated caps at the diff ends. It looks like all the actual external steel. See, even that's scratched. It looks like it's been, I don't know what the process is called, but with steel, you can get it sort of really red hot. It's almost like a heat treating process. If you dip it in oil, it will stain, the oil will go in the pores, and it looks like that's what they've done. It looks like it's been oil bathed when it's hot, but maybe it is paint. I really don't know. They don't look like super expensive axles or a super expensive piece of equipment, but it doesn't matter. It just matters if they're stronger. All right, we're gonna end that one off there, guys. As I said in the intro, I'd love some more feedback on different oil weights. Yeah, like I said, I'm running HPR5, which is a 540, and I'm thinking about going thicker. Let me know if you run thicker oil in your N54 and if you've had any problems. But yeah, we're pretty hot here. It makes sense to be running a thicker oil than places that are nice and cool. All right, that'll do for that one. Thank you very much for watching. And tomorrow's video, it's probably going to be a quick one, but I want to get my car back on E70, proper E70 mix, go and do some logs, make sure that we didn't hurt anything from driving it when it was hot at the track. And I think we've got to wind it up because I want to do roll racing in 2 weeks. JSR, come on, give me some more power. I want the old power back. All right, we'll end it off there. Thank you very much for watching. Catch you on the next one. Peace.